Okay, today the demo that I'll be showing to you is about the user input. It means we will be asking the user to input the data so that we will be able to have the output, and we can have a sample problem to make an input data. Okay, let's start with creating a file. So for now I'll be using the Visual Code, VS Code. So I'll start with a very basic one, which is like a conversion or multiplying two numbers, or let's say conversion, although some of you were able to create already with this one. So if we're going to ask the user to input the value, of course the first thing that we need to do is create again a variable name. So for now, I'll start with the number include IO stream. Okay, so using namespace, especially for those who don't understand what's the use of a user input. int main. Then our program for today is using a user input. Okay, I'll just comment it out. So from here, curly brace. Always remember, the first thing that we need to create is the declaration of our variable. Now we will be using the conversion dollar to peso. Instead of having a fixed value, we will just simply put, we will just initialize the variable name without the value. So in here, I'll be using the float, okay, or the double later. I'll just discuss what's the difference between the float and the double. For now, I'll be using the float. Okay, dollar. So when we are talking about the dollar rate, like this, so it means $1 is equal to assuming 53.75. Since this is a fixed value, then this can be considered as constant. Okay, this is what you call the constant. Now we will put here the peso value as another variable name. This time I will not put any value, because we will need to find out and try to solve, and we will just ask the user to input for where we can also remove this one. Example, there will be some changes, just like we're creating a calculator. Instead of putting the value here, because there are times the user prefer to make a calculation, so I'll just remove this one, dollar rate, and then the amount. Okay, that's it. And now what we're going to do is start with cout sample, enter rate in dollar. Okay, I'll be asking the user to enter the rate of the dollar. Next is, of course, I want it to semicolon. Then here, since we're asking the user input, then we will use the CIN, a console input output. Then as you notice here, the insertion operator will be inverted, so it turns to the right, the double arrow right, something like this. And we will call up the variable name, which is the dollar rate, so that the value for the user entered will be stored in the dollar rate variable name. Okay, now we have the rate in dollar. Next, we will ask the user to enter the value, the amount to be converted. Example, enter amount to convert. Okay, so in this case, semicolon, and we will be using CIN again. It means console input, asking the user to enter the value of the amount. Since we're asking this, how much in dollar you want to convert, so we will call up this variable name, the amount. Put here amount, semicolon. So this time, in this line, we will be adding the formula. Peso value is equal to, we will multiply the amount. Example, dollar rate times amount. Okay, then of course we will display the result. See out, oops, baliktad. Okay, this one. The conversion of, so I'll be referring to the amount in peso. So I'll put here the conversion of, I'll put here amount, then here another one is then the result, which is peso value. Okay, then we can add here return 0. So we're going to review again if our code is correct. So we assign here a variable, we declare a variable, we don't put any value here because the rate can change from time to time. That's the reason why we will ask the user to enter the value of the rate, and we're going to find out what is the value in peso. Then next is we will assign the amount for the amount the user wish to convert. Okay, so in our formula, peso value, meaning whatever the result here, we're going to multiply dollar rate times the amount entered by the user. So we will assign here peso value, and the amount refers in here, the entered amount of the user. So let's try to run the code. Okay, I will find out. Okay, now asking the enter rate in dollar. Let me say the value is 48. Oops. Read only editor. What happened? Cannot read only editor? Why cannot enter? Why cannot enter here? Let me find out what is wrong with my code. Enter using, that's correct. What's not running? Why I cannot enter? What's wrong with my code? Dollar rate. What's wrong with my code? Let me close this one. Okay, going back to our code. If we're going to run this one, this is actually about fixing something on on your code, although there is no problem here. However, if I'm going to run this one, I could not type longer 45 1 2 3 4, and then see, it's gone fast, very fast. So the option that you can do actually in here is you type here system, then simply type here pause. All right, then semicolon, so that we can try to make the system to stop running. Okay, so assuming we're going to run this one again. Oops, it's already running. And by the way, if you want to run the code in the console, there is an option how to fix it. Okay, so assuming in here, if you notice here in our code, it's already running. So how we're going to do it? We're going to the file, then preferences, then settings, and then in here we're going to type here code runner. Okay, so I'll be looking for the terminal part in the code runner, so we can have the output in the terminal instead of from the other window, asking for another window. We click on this one. Okay, and for this to work, we need to click close again this one and restart our program. Open the VS Code again. Okay, and let's try to run again. Let's see if instead of going to the another window, we will try to run this one through the console. Right, run. Let's see. Still going out here. Where's the output? Enter $. Okay, as you noticed here, the output. We'll try to make this one bigger. I can just say 45.45. I mean 54.45. 4,532.25. Okay, assuming. So you have now here the result. Okay, if I press continue, that's how you're going to show it in the console. All right, so notice here we had here the output already, and if we're going to remove this one, there's no that. So let's try to run again. Okay, the code now is running. See, there's another option here. 55, 34. The amount that I want to convert, 3,292. Very fast. See? So that's how it will happen through the other window. Although it will actually appear in here, you just simply type here 45.45. So let me say 4,250. So you have how the output in here. So that's another option if you want to type in the console. All right.